Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Dee with INFP-A Insights. And I guess it's kind of surprising to see me here. I'm surprised to be here. I was going to take off until I post the video I made about, the thoughts about the typing and the socionics typing, what I think about MBTI, what I really think. Um, maybe I've been too nice. Gonna have to drink some water here. Um, well, where we go from here and what I think, and I've got new constructs in my brain and all this kind of stuff, which is has nothing to do with the day-to-day world. But something happened yesterday during Mother's Day, and with my kids, and I think I just want to put this out in the universe. This is my thing. I'm learning a lot. I did learn a lot about socionics. Just listening to videos about what the different functions mean there. And I have been using more NI than I thought I was. I thought it was FI, but I won't get into that right now. But a lot of it is. So I'm putting this and I'm understanding more about myself, which is a good thing, which is what I wanted to do. I don't care what the type is. It's just want to know more about myself. And I did learn that the things that I had been doing in my life weren't willy-nilly. They had a purpose. And so here's my purpose. I'm putting this out in the universe. I put it out to my daughters yesterday, and it didn't go anywhere. Hopefully they listened a little bit. At some point, they fought me on it. But what I'm going to talk about today, putting that in the universe, because I think it's important to something to think about. And a lot of you watching are my kids' age. So, yeah, just let me know what you think. What am I talking about? I don't know. I was going to label this letting things go, and I thought, no, we've done that, and that's not exactly what this is about. I'm going to call this Mother's Day, Pick Your Battles. So, I thought I was going to be by myself for Mother's Day, and my kids of the past couple of years have not come around as much. That's when their dad passed away. They have not come around as much. I thought they would. They were coming around, but they wanted to just gripe. I just gripe about their stepmom. Their stepmom is very mentally unhealthy. When they first got married 30 years ago, that woman's always hated me. I don't know why. She got the prize. I don't call it a prize, but I mean, she won. If she wants to make everything competition, she won. I don't know why she threw shade my way, to the point that I almost had to get a restraining order against her. That was threatened from a lawyer I hired for harassing me. Why, I do not know. The woman's not healthy. So what my kids have done over those 30 years is that they've kind of kowtowed to her to get along with their dad, and they got sucked into some big stuff. I didn't want to get sucked into it. So I have not had that close relationship with my grandkids. I haven't seen them grow up like she has. And I've missed that. And now I never get to see them. Did get to see my youngest granddaughter yesterday when I had lunch. But anyway, that's the background of that, because it's Mother's Day and it was just kind of edgy for everybody. I thought I was going to be alone. I have felt like sorry for myself, I guess. If I'm going to have an INFP pity party, it would be about, I'm the one that gave birth to you, and you want to put all your attention on somebody else who actually, what happened after their dad died, their stepmom blocked them from everything. Didn't talk to them, didn't tell them she was blocking them, didn't tell them she's moved on with her life and screw you or whatever. She blocked them on Facebook from the phones. She did not return any kind of anything. She did not see them. It was hard for my kids, and I can understand this as a mother. and now they're mothers. This is all Mother's Day. This is Mother's Day drama that I don't want to be a part of. But it is, it happens, I think, in lots and lots of families. We are not unique in that regard. So what happened was, it all had to do with, won't get into too many details, but just basically she would not let them have anything of their dad's or see anything of their dad's. Wouldn't show the will, wouldn't let one of them be with him to say goodbye to him. I mean, the woman's not healthy mentally, and it's sad she did that. And she just went off and married the preacher who gave the eulogy for the funeral. Is that not a twist? We live in the South. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make half a joke about this, but just keep into consideration it happens all over the world. But we live in the South. I'm not that shocked, because I grew up in a small town. My kids grew up here in the city. They're not used to all this, and their dad's country, the stepmom's country, they're all country. I understand that. I understand it. So I'm not surprised. So yeah. So what has happened now? The stepmom passed away in January, and now the new husband is wanting to take everything over and not let them and sell the house, which is in their dad's name, which I don't think he can, but he's just bullied them away. So not unlike a very traditional, he's an evangelical preacher. I'll just throw that in there, a southern evangelical preacher. And, you know, women aren't equal. I'm trying to tell them, so that's what I was trying to tell one of my daughters yesterday, the one that's getting divorced. She's got enough on her plate. And the only thing that I thought was that she wanted was just junk items. He was a hoarder. He was a hoarder. I wasn't sad when he moved out and moved all this stuff out. He had like 3 or 4 or 5 junk cars and $1 million worth of tools. He was a hoarder. So I thought, well, it's just his junk, she said, but I just want something from him. And I just kept saying, well, let it go. She's not going to let you have it. You're ruining yourself. You've got your family to take care of. You've got your kids who need you. You're getting a divorce, which is hard, even though she denies it being hard on her kids. It is. And it's financially hard on the 2 parents. My daughter and her son-in-law, I mean, you know, like I helped my daughter financially get that apartment that I call where I'm trying to go, Casa ESFJ. She couldn't have gotten it without my help. For once in my life, I loosened up the purse string and I said, this is what you're going to get from me. Don't ask for anything else. You can take it or leave it, but I'll offer it for you. Wasn't that much in the scheme of things, but it was. I could have bought the tires. It'll buy me a lifetime of tires if my tires are going to get slashed. If you saw my other videos, I had my tires got slashed a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, yeah, and this is probably going to be longer than I want it to be, but I'm not going to be doing videos very often. So she got kind of irritated. She's like, yeah, I know you said let it go, let it all go, but that's not. She didn't want to do that. Then I found out the house was involved. So that's why I say pick your battles. Do you want to fight that much and be upset? Maybe work yourself into a health thing, and down the road, you're not getting any younger, you're in your late 40s, down the road you may have heart problems or who knows what all, stroke. Don't stroke yourself out over you didn't get your dad's Bible. You know what I'm saying? Now he's trying to sell the house. Well, that's a bigger thing. Pick your battles. If you're going to fight, I agree with that part. You got a case on that. You may have a case on that because he does not have the preacher guy does not have his name on the title, so I don't know how he's going to sell it. But he moved his daughter into it. So that's that whole thing. I just told her just to go and do it. I mean, in my family, you know, the death of someone in the family brings out the worst in folks, brings out the worst in people. I know in my family, when my when my aunt died, my cousin, who was not her daughter but just was her executor of the estate, put her stuff from her house to the curb. There were things from my grandmother at the curb. My mother called me because she lived down the street an hour away. My mother called me about supper time one night, but all the stuff's at the curb. Well, I got in my car, hung up the phone, got in my car, and went and hauled the stuff in my car. I got a 100-year-old rocking chair that was my grandma's, a wooden rocking chair that supposedly she nursed all of her babies with. That was at the curb. I put, that's sentimental. I still have it, and it works. I don't sit in it, but it's got a cane. It's got like a lattice cane seat. Excuse me. But I put it in the car, and then my mother was like, well, I have to ask my cousin first, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not. If she wants it, she can come to my house an hour away and pick it up. I never heard from her because I knew she wouldn't care. And that's what I was trying to tell my daughter, both of them, and the other one called later. I was trying to tell them, pick your fights, be more assertive, because I taught them to be assertive, and just say you're going to go look. You're going to go look through your dad's stuff. And I told him, I said, go country. That's the only term I can say. I used to live in the mountains, in very, very secluded place in the mountains, and there's a whole culture about that. Just go country. You're too cityfied. You're too soft. Just go country. Just go. And so they plan to do that. But pick your battles. You're not going to win them all. Pick the one that you want. I think the house is more important in this case. So I'm just using this as an example. Now, the youngest, because she's got enough on her plate. You can't overload your plate. That's one thing I did learn a couple of years ago when I wound up in the ER with my nervous system all out of whack. My autonomic, I think that's the way you pronounce it, autonomic nervous system crashed to the point they thought I had congestive heart failure. I mean, my blood pressure was stroke level. I was in a bad way. In my opinion, I was. But I went to the ER. I mean, I've had specialists over the couple. Nothing's wrong. I've had to learn to walk again, to drive again. I've had to do all of that because when your nervous system crashes like that, and it's not a mental breakdown, it's your nervous system, which does have something to do with the mind, but it's not like a mental breakdown, like you're crazy. It's physical. Every single function in my body I have had to learn to regulate, and I'm still recovering. I don't want to see people go through that. Your body can only take so much chaos in life, can only take so much stress, so pick your battles. And the youngest daughter, what she did, I asked her if she went to her in-laws, because they always do go to where her husband has to go to every holiday to his family. And she said no, she stayed home by herself, and she's not done that before. And I said, you didn't go? Because I was kind of surprised. I mean, are you sick or what? And she said, well, that's his mother. She's not my mother. And I'm like, that's not the way she talks. She's my whatever child. I'm switching children now. The youngest, the ISFP, we're the most alike personality-wise. We can get along really well, have intelligent conversations. But I know she's getting depressed if she did not go and say, well, that's not my mother, because she's kinder than that. So anyway, I decided I would bring it up because I had talked to her the week before she called, and she didn't mention, nobody's mentioned to me about her stepmom passing away. And then I mentioned it to her when I found out that she was home by herself. I thought, that's really not like her at all. And I said, well, your sister told me that your stepmom died, and I'm sorry to hear about that. And she said, well, I didn't tell you because you said you didn't want to hear anything about her. I said I didn't want to hear anything about the drama about the possessions. But yeah, I am sorry that she did pass away, even though I do think she had a lot of screws missing. And I did say that. I finally did after what 40 years come out to say what I really think about this woman. but she was talking, and so we kind of had the same idea. I think she listened more than the ESFJ one would. She would rather have chaos, and the ISFP would rather have calmness, like me. And I told her, I just said, I said, just take care of yourself. I want you to take care of yourself. And she did sarcastically say, well, gee, Mom, you certainly are supportive. When I told her there's nothing you can do about the personal stuff. If he says, this preacher guy, widow now, if he says that, because I watched Judge Judy too, if he says that he no longer has those items, or he's never seen those items, then legally, take the emotions out of it, legally, there's no more you can do. I mean, that's it. It's gone, and it's not worth anything. It's worth emotional value, but it has no financial value from the legal, put on your thinking cap here, from the legal standpoint of view, in this state anyway. And she was like, yeah. I said, the house is a different thing. You can go fight for the house, but let the, don't worry about the other. And so she's like, yeah, that's the point. So that's just the point I wanted to make, and I know it's just all about me. It's not all about me. I'm putting this out there to the universe. Maybe the stories, you can gather something from it. You've been in those type situations? I know you have. I've had plenty of friends that have been in similar situations. I've known plenty of friends over the last few years who've had friends that have been in the same situation. The way I thought about it when my mom passed away, well, my dad left me some money in his will, but that was just contingent on it being left after my mother died, because he left everything to her. The will was just so categorized. It was so succinct. He was INTP. It was so succinct and categorized. Yeah, D gets this money, but only not, only when, my mother dies, if it's there. So I had conflicts about that. There was a part of me that thought, yeah, I deserve it, like my kids think I deserve it. And I deserve it for a different reason. It was because I didn't get it growing up. I didn't get emotional support growing up. My mother actually told me on numerous occasions I was never wanted. Well, I got that idea, I wasn't. So there's a part of me like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's blood money. There's a part of me like, I worked for it. I had to live like I had to live. I deserve it, so it's conflict about that. So I know how that feels. So, yeah, I think we all go through that. And I know some of you out there are going through some things similar. I would just say, getting back to Mother's Day, and all this has to do with mothers, on a more positive note, I hope you did think about your mom on Mother's Day. If you're in the States, I think most of my viewers are not. But just think about your mom, whether it's Mother's Day or not, whether you get along or not, unless it's just think, unless it's very traumatic, which is unusual. I mean, like super traumatic, just super traumatic. Yeah, at least think about them. My oldest child has nothing to do with me. I think about her. I doubt she thinks more about her mother-in-law and what her mother-in-law has done with the dad. She was the one that wasn't allowed to say goodbye to him, which I think is totally crappy. And I wouldn't have done that even if I didn't get along with her, like evidently the stepmom did not get along with her, I would not have done that. So yeah, if you're and I hope if you were with your mom, I hope you had a good time. If your mom's no longer with you, I'm sorry, but she's always with you in spirit. So yeah, just where families are concerned, the relationship's more important. Possessions can be replaced. Money's just money. Items are just items. And yes, there's the emotional connection, but it's not the end all to end all. It's more important things. It's not worth ruining relationships over. It's not worth making yourself sick over. And yes, in the case of my family, I'm alive. I'm still alive and I'm still available. They would rather spend their energy on people who are deceased and what they're going to get from it. They might lose more in the long run with their own family. If nothing else, just leave me out of it. I would like to be a part of their family as much as possible, particularly my grandkids. And I had no idea I was going to make this 20 minutes long. I have not been looking at the timer. So most of you probably have clicked off a long time ago, but this is just something I want to put out in the universe. I don't know when I'm going to make another video. I'm not making them just to be making them. I do want the socionics to come next. Got pretty good views on the one over on the World Socionics Society page. It's over 600 views in a week. I've not done that on anything I've done on my channel. He only has 3,000 subscribers, so it's not like he's got 1 million subscribers or anything. But yeah, so people have watched. If you haven't, take a look over there, and we'll get into that. This summer, I'm going to try to rest as much as I can. I'm going to try to do some day-to-day things. I learned from that typing that I'm more in my head than I thought I was, more global than I thought I was. Going to be doing more day-to-day things, which is pay more attention to what my kids are going through. If nothing else, try to be more accessible. Use my energy doing that and not making videos for the world. Even though I love it, I appreciate you, but I got more important things right now to me. My tribe, my legacy, my whatever happens to be with my kids and grandkids. So yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Comment, you know what to do. Comment below. Love to hear your comments. I'm doing well. Hope you are. Like, subscribe if you want to. Comments, I do like the comments though. If not, I appreciate you listening, and I will be back in a few weeks. Until then, stay safe.